Hello, my students, and welcome to another featured English teacher. Thank you so much for joining us. And today, I'm very happy to be talking to Naheed. And I would have to say, one of the most educated teachers that I know, and I'm very happy that she's here with us today. Hi, Naheed, how are you?
Thank you very much for introducing me this graciously. I'm using the same word you used once for me, once in one of the videos. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be talking to you and to your students. I just finished my lecture today from my college and just came back home, and there was just a little time to get ready myself for this interview or for this talk. But we are here ultimately. Thank you very much. I'm honored. I feel so happy that you remembered me. I remember the time when we had one lecture together, and I had
Yes.
requested you to join me for one lesson for my students and as well as for your students in the way, because the topic we chose mutually was something related to the English grammar. I remember it was 6 months back. I approached you because you've been the very popular online teacher and otherwise also. So that was so nice that I'm in contacting you, and then you accepted my request, and together we made the presentation, and it was shared. The material was shared, and we talked on to the topic of English compounding. That was an excellent, I guess, that lecture or the lesson is still lying onto our YouTube channel. The students can watch them on both of us, of course. It was so wonderful. And you remembered me for the second time also, really put me into kind of feeling where I felt proud of the fact that I am in touch with somebody who's working for the English subject and teaching students across the world. The way you teach and the way you pick up things, as far as the proverbial idiomatic expressions are concerned, or any usage in terms of the functional grammar and its pronunciation, especially the American pronunciation. The work contributes so much that at times I really feel to be consulting and searching what material you have done. Maybe I can get something as a help out from that, because of course, whatever you do is always research-based, So somebody or the students who are really willing to know everything in the front and in the background related to something you are teaching onto your forum, that is englishfunzone.com, the most popular. Even I can see it, I'm in the mono at the background, and I'm very happy that at least I'm having a little connection to that through you, which is an honor. So thank you very much.
So I'm pleased that you have agreed to do this. And it gives the students an opportunity to meet other teachers and find out what other teachers are doing and see that English is taught in different places and different accents. And let's talk a little bit about your education. I know that you
All right.
have degrees, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right. I've done my master's in ELT, that is actually the English teaching related kind of master's degree, as well as the linguistics, because it is a dual degree. Not only you learn something how the teachers should teach English as a second language to the students, especially because, of course, here you see that in Pakistan, the Asian belt, here we are not the native speakers of English, And as far
Right,
as the
and we
English,
should let the students know that you're from Pakistan, right? And you're talking
yeah,
to me from Pakistan today.
yeah, that's true. And of course, that falls into the Asian continent,
Right,
Uh,
right.
so see that in our side, English is very popular as lingua franca, across the world, of course. Because of everything, you will find, the speaker of English or somebody who understands English to some extent, of course, wherever you go, whatever the country is. This has become a common linguistic rule or the language through which people can communicate, if even they do not know the complete rules, but somehow they know certain vocabulary, they can understand this language. And without it, of course, I mean, you cannot go ahead, because most of the material related to different subjects and disciplines is available. The work done into the English language, as far as the academics is concerned, is greater than other languages. Of course, there are other works also in other languages, because people are translating, they keep on translating things from one language to another. But again, I mean, as far as English is concerned, it is something which is very important in from every aspect, not from the aspect of the academics in schools, colleges, and universities, but even if you travel from one place to another, you will have to communicate better in the English, instead that you go
Absolutely.
for choosing some other language. Here,
Absolutely.
English is actually a second language. So we second in the sense that, of course, it's not the first language, the L1. The concept is, that the concept of L1, the mother tongue, it's replaced by the term L1 now. Of course, once, I mean, there was a time when we used to say mother tongue, whatever the language is. But now it has been replaced by the languages like L1, L2, L3, and so on. And then
Right.
if we talk about the languages, you know that, I mean, there are the native languages which we speak as our parents speak, or the language in which our parents and the siblings and the family speaks, and there are the speakers as well. And then comes the language which becomes the second language, where we can probably have the audience, but that's not much. And as far as the foreign language is concerned, it is only, I mean, taught within the institute or within the classroom, where there is a limited number of the students, where the teachers and the relevant language learners speak that particular language.
Mm.
Here,
And
English is served or taught as the second language, though if we look upon the kind of the education we are taught as students here at the school level, before the high class or the high level, which is equal to the O levels, you can say, and then above, like, I mean, the level like A levels or the intermediate level. Then here, I mean, there that comes the graduation level, and then comes the masters and the MPhil and the PhD and so on. You see that, I mean, at least, I mean, as far as the intermediate level is concerned, English becomes a compulsory subject in all types of the degrees. So I did my master's in ELT, that stands as English Language Teaching and Linguistics. So we learned how the teacher should make up the lesson plans, how the English should be taught, and so on. So everything was related to that. Later on, I did my MPhil in linguistics. It's a bit different from the language subject English teaching, because of course, I mean, there we are interacted, or we are taught studying language English at different levels. You see that, I mean, if we really talk about learning any subject, any language, I should not say subject, I should say English language. Of course, we cannot study it in just one go or one round, because of course, studying a language uh, brings you on to different levels or the areas. One that is related to the phonology, like you are an expert. So whatever you are doing, your major work is that you are focusing on how the words actually are pronounced. So there is one level which is the phonetics and phonology, where the pronunciation of certain languages considered and focused. Then what becomes the second level or another aspect or dimension, and that is the morphology, that how the words are constructed. Then the
right.
third is what are the meanings, and there are standard meanings, there are types of meanings, and like in that is called semantics. So we are given introduction of the semantics also, we are given the introduction of the morphology, that how the words are made up, what are those mechanisms and the procedures through which the English words are made up.
Right.
And then, of course, I mean, there are other levels also, like pragmatics, where, I mean, the words are learned or considered as far as their meanings are concerned into certain context, because of course the word remains same, but if the context of the word or the situation is changed, the meaning becomes changed. So this is how, I mean, the language can be studied. So this was all what we studied at the very initial level in my MPhil degree. So that is a degree, you can say, that is the highest degree before the PhD. I've not started it yet, and no plans to do it, of course, because because now I'm actually applying whatever I learned for the last 10 years. I'm teaching English. I'm involved into teaching English for the last 10 years in some capacity, in one color or the other. Presently,
For 10
I
years you've
am
been teaching.
all together, because
Yeah.
in these 10 years of professional life, I had the opportunity to work as a principal for 2 of the institutions, and there I used to go into grade 9s and 10 for teaching the English grammar, although I had teachers, but again, I mean, instead that, I mean, I depended upon the teachers. I used to have the senior most classes myself, wanted to teach them English grammar, because this is what the most favorite subject of mine is. And maybe I know only this subject. I do not know anything else.
Oh, I'm sure you know a lot more than just grammar. In fact, I know that's true that
All
you,
right, that's
you
that's that's your kindness. You consider me this way.
so
All right.
tell us about what you're doing now. I know that you have
Okay. Okay.
recently taken on a new position,
Yeah.
and it was so exciting. So tell our listeners and
All
our
right. It's been six
viewers about
months
that.
that, yes, it's been 6 months ago that I joined a project, which is a dual project in the sense, because it's called, the project calls the Lord's Law College and the Lord's College of Pharmacy. So it's a
Lord's
project
Law
of
College?
somebody. Yes,
It's
it's
called the Lord's Law?
Lord's Law College.
Lord's
And the
Law
other one is
College?
the Lord's Pharmacy College, Lord's College of
Lord's
Pharmacy. So, yeah,
College of
yeah,
Pharmacy.
yeah. See, you see that, I mean, in both of the colleges, of course, I mean, if I talk about the law college, it's like there are the graduates and they are having their degree spread upon or stretched upon over 5 years. So in their first year of the professional degree in law, there is the subject of English. And then in their second year also, there is again, I mean, the subject of English as compulsory subject. So there I'm teaching, I mean, part 1 and part 2. As far as the pharmacy is concerned, they're also, I mean, having a degree of 5 years. And in their degree, there is just 1 year, that is the first year, the part 1's year, which is allocated, or which is actually is containing the English subject. In both of the classes, as far as, I mean, part 1 of both of the sides or the wings are concerned, the functional grammar is the basic thing which we are teaching. Because in pharmacy, of course, I mean, there are the functional grammar, which has 3 sections. One is purely, I mean, the English grammar, where, I mean, the rules and the regulations and the constructions are taught to them. And then, I mean, there is the second section where the skills, the four basic skills are taught. And then they are taught this also, that which particular skill is applied to any kind of the grammatical work. The example is like, I mean, if we talk about the reading skills, you know that there are 5 levels or the 5 types. Like, I mean, there are these skimming reading, and then the scanning reading, and then there is intensive reading, and then there is extensive reading and the speed reading. If we talk about the skimming, of course, I mean, this can be applied onto the kind of the task which is related to the comprehension or the précis writing. Similarly, if the scanning is focused, the comprehension is given and the questions are given and the answers are drafted. There we have to see that how the students are doing their answers. We train them that what the question says, and how we can find or build up the answers out from the given passage or the paragraph. So there, of course, I mean, we apply the scanning reading skill, because once you read the stuff, do you apply that? I mean, there is a question and you have to find out or extract the relevant answer out from the given larger text. But as far as, I mean, the skimming is concerned, when you apply this reading skill onto your paragraph or the larger text, what you are to do is that you read the whole stuff and then you take out the main points of the whole stuff. Where, I mean, you make a brief paragraph of this larger text, so that it gives, I mean, equally the all the important points which were part of the larger text. And this is a kind of skill which we develop as far as, I mean, the skills are concerned. And then there becomes this third section which is related to the technical writing. This makes up or constitutes the third part of the course for the part one students, and that is that we train them that what are the formats and how the language is used, because of course the format of the letters is definitely different from the format of the CVs. And then of course, I mean, the dialogue writing is another thing, you know, but it has its own way to do. So like, I mean, there is a difference of paragraph writing and then essay writing and all that. Similarly, I mean, there can be added more, like, I mean, report writing and all that. So whatever that is related to the life-based things in terms of the written stuff, we teach them that what are those mechanisms, what are the structures, what are the formats on which they are to draft certain things in English language. So that goes actually for the course outline as far as part one is concerned. In part two, for the law students, they have given, I mean, 10 stories also, which are uh, taken up out from the volume one of stories of ourselves, published by Cambridge University. So it's actually recommended by the university for the students, and what we teach there, that the stories are selected by the a relevant university in our region, like I'm in the place where I'm teaching, that is the Lahore area in Pakistan, this related to one province, Punjab. And it's not myself or neither, I mean, the higher authorities into the colleges and other institutions, rather, I mean, the relevant boards actually decide that what should be the course outline or the curriculum for the colleges and the institutes. So the university, which is the Punjab University, that the panel or the relevant authorities actually design the curriculum and they provide us that curriculum. According to them, we teach and we make our lesson plans on the daily basis. And of course, you know that in every institute, of course, there are proper lesson planning. The topics are divided, then subdivided, and of course, I mean, there is always a calendar which we have to follow, you know, because of
Is there a chance for the students to have a conversation? Do they? It sounds like they do a lot of writing and reading, but I have two questions. Do they have conversations in class, and do you conduct your lessons in English?
Okay. No, it's actually at times, of course, thoroughly it goes. I mean, all the way for English. There is a time allocated to them. One period is of 1 hour. So for 1 hour of whatever your topic is, what you have to teach, you prefer to speak in English. But as I mean, there are the mixed students, you know, coming from different places and different institutes, of course. There are many students who are unable to construct or build up correct and valid sentences. For them, of course, we have to become bilingual. I mean, explaining the rules into English, into their own native language, that is Urdu. So at times, of course, we have to become bilingual so that, I mean, the rule can be conveyed, the examples or the practice could be really made easier for the students. So I should say that we have to adopt, rather we adopt, I mean, both of the strategies, that sometimes some classes are thoroughly monolingual, entirely into English, you know, because of course we have to set an example for them also, that what are, because of our speech also, they learn much. That what are the pronunciations, how the sentences are, what is fluency, how the sentences are to be said one after the other, what should be the speed, I mean, of building sentences within their own mind, you know. So, I mean, we try to bring them onto a stage where they can communicate into English also. As far as the skills are concerned, you see that, I mean, there is the communication skills also, I mean, part of their courses. And for that, of course, we take up help from the skill, like, I mean, the listening skill, which is actually the base for the speaking. The more you listen, the more the effective listening and the productive listening is, where you focus that what you learn, what you heard, what the other person spoke. So at times what happens that, of course, we show them certain videos, right? I remember that I shared one of your lecture into my class also, and that was related to the your lecture. Yes, in all my 3 classes, I shared your lecture because I just downloaded it. Rather, I mean, the net facility in our classes is available, so we can on simply online and just, I mean, watch it on from the YouTube also. That was related to how to build up the writing skills. Remember, that was
Oh,
the
right,
lesson.
right,
Yes,
right.
it's been a month. It's been a month ago. Rather, I've created a page for my students, and it's an open page. See, it's an open page. It's just set onto the public, and almost, I mean, there are 200 students who get help out from there, that page. What I'm doing is that people who have done something relevant to their these 3 courses, at least, I mean, part 1 pharmacy, part 1 law, and part 2 law, right? At least, I mean, the relevant material are sent and put onto those pages. And sometimes whatever I teach into my classrooms, so we just make the screenshots of my board writings also. You will see that if, I mean, the students really look at my page, they will find that my handwritten notes are also, I mean, uploaded or posted onto that page. The purpose is only to help students, like, I mean, you are contributing. It's a complete contributive work, you know. So wherever the students are, they can get help out of if they find something relevant to their own material. Like, I mean, I have recommended your channel also. There is much as far as English teaching is concerned. Believe me, it's not something which I'm just praising on your face. It's something which I told you that even at times, instead of reading, see, there is a way of learning something, that you go yourself through the material, whether in a bookish form or into the printed form or online, but you have to sit on your study table, you know, spending time searching and then taking out the material. But you see that, I mean, people like you or others who have done, and on Google, of course, or others search engines, there is a lot of things, bulk of things are available. Only, I mean, there is a need that who is interested.
Right.
You
And who can you
sit and
trust? I mean, there's a lot
who
of
you can.
information out there, and some information is really good. And then there's other things I think, oh no.
That yes, at times
And
they don't meet the level or the standard they should be put on
right,
to. You're
right,
absolutely
exactly,
correct. Right. So
exactly.
your
And
work is something. Yes,
or it's too silly. It's not. um, I know you're supposed to keep students entertained and get them focused, but sometimes if you don't focus on how and why is it this
absolutely,
way and not that way, that's a teachable moment where you say, well, this is why we say it this way, or this is
absolutely,
how to say
absolutely,
it this way, not just
absolutely.
and
You're
what things do you
absolutely.
what things do you find difficult to teach? I mean, is it grammar points? Is it pronunciation? What are some things that you find, like for me, right now I've been doing idioms and slang, and I'm terrible with slang because it's constantly changing, and I try to focus on things that are fairly current and work with that, but it becomes outdated so quickly. So I have a trouble trying to teach slang. Idioms not so much, because those are common and those are pretty standard, but it's the slang that I have a hard time working with. What are some things that you find difficult in
I guess, I
teaching your
mean,
students?
see, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm right or maybe I'm wrong, what my perception or the notion is. And that is that you see that, of course, I mean, as far as you said that the slangs, they keep on changing. And
Yeah.
if not only the slang, you see that, I mean, the language, it's not a stagnant thing, you know. We see that if we look eh, at we look back, you know, as far as the vocabulary is concerned, we will see that, of course, I mean, there are the ages and the eras, right?
Mm.
And there are certain dictions which are in fashion at a particular period of time, let's say 20 years, 30 years, 50 years.
Right.
But we
And
see
diction
if they're
is
not used.
different parts of the states.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. And
diction, it
that's
happens in
another
different
aspect.
parts of
Then,
states, different countries that
yes.
speak English.
As far as the pronunciation, one thing is the use of that, of a word. That is the usage of a word. And the other thing is the pronunciation of the same, you know. As
Mhm.
far as, I mean, the pronunciation is concerned, within the same region, you can say that there is the concept of the dialects, right? The moment you go away from the isogloss, you know, that is the boundary line in between the two places, of course, I mean, the dialect changes, the pronunciations changes, though the word remains the same. This happens everywhere. This happens everywhere. Of course, I mean, there is no solution unless there is no solution to it. We cannot make it stop. It's just, I mean, in the nature. It's in the nature, you know. It's the nature. You see that, I mean, as far as the pronunciation, now there is a concept of different Englishes as far as the pronunciations are concerned. Urdish. And then you see that, I mean, the people belonging to different geographical belts, they have their own way of speaking English, as far as, I mean, the Arabian belt is concerned. You see that, I mean, and why? There is a reason. There's a reason. And why it is different? The basic reason is that, of course, the alphabets, the sounds. If we talk about, I mean, the English, there are 26 letters, but we do not say that to our students that there are 26 sounds.
No,
you know, there are
no,
44,
right.
42 to
Yeah.
44. Okay. And then you see that certain sounds are naturally available into one language. They are naturally available. The people or the native speakers speak those sounds, they pronounce those sounds. But we see, as far as the alphabets are concerned, let's say language A, there are certain number of the alphabets. And of course, I mean, there are certain sounds of theirs. We see
Right.
that, I mean, certain sounds are mixed into other languages. They're not
Well, that's
there.
because they're trying to speak English in their language pronunciation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you get, this is the pronunciation, let's say American pronunciation. Like you
Right.
said, there are different dialects. If we focus on a standard Northern American accent, but if someone's learning English in, let's say, Pakistan,
Right.
they're trying to say the words in English, but using their pronunciation of the letters. If that letter or that sound is in their language, they
Definitely.
try to
Definitely.
say it instead of repeating and copying the accent that they're learning from. Does that make sense?
Well, to some extent, one can really copy, but as far as, I mean, the availability of that sound is concerned,
Right.
I'll give you one example, darling. Let's say that, I mean, if we talk about Arabic language, because I've
Right.
learned a bit of grammar just
Mhm.
before joining this job. I have developed an interest to be learning something related to the Arabic grammar, just to make a little comparison. Because Urdu is my native language, one language. Why? English is another one. A little exposure to it, of course, my little knowledge is there. And then I just wanted to see that, I mean, what the little or the basic grammar in Arabic is. See, as far as the alphabets are concerned, the basic alphabets in Arabic are concerned, there is no letter like D sound,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you cannot pronounce it. You cannot pronounce the sound which is not in your native language.
Right.
Similarly, there is no concept of P, Pakistan,
Mhm.
popular, right? There's no P sound or per sound in Arabic. There's no D sound. There's no R sound like it is in our, right?
Right.
So that is actually the constraints. These are the limitations of languages.
Right.
So if the basic alphabets, not alphabets, if the sound speech is available in any language, pronouncing that word or the sound is easier for the speakers. But if somebody who is a foreigner and who is not a native speaker of any language, and in their own original, regional, national, or their own native language, something is missed, which is in English, the pronunciation will be an issue. This is one thing. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm getting this dried. I love your teeth. I love your teeth, your smile, your hair. Show me your length of hair. Hey, you, the beautiful girl. You're just putting me into questions only. Do you?
I know. But you have such a wealth of information, and it's interesting.
No, that's not. You yourself. I already admitted that I consult you. Rather, I have in my library, the videos are copied, downloaded, because of course I consult them. You know, there are. How many videos have you made so far? I guess 100.
Over
1,000?
400.
1,000?
No, over 400, like 440.
Don't say it. I guess that, I mean, they would not be less than 1,000. The way you produce them, you're a factory of lessons. I just wonder, because when I started my video YouTube channel, I thought probably I would manage it. But I mean, arranging a lesson for one video is a big, tough job.
Yes.
And by then, of course, I was free. I was not employed. I go at 8 in the morning and I return at 5 p.m. So the whole day goes into it. You know, in one class, in pharmacy wing, I teach 100 students at one time. Do you know this?
Yeah, I had a class in China that I had 200 students.
Oh, love!
And it was standing room only.
You are boss. You are boss. You're saying 200.
Well, it was at a university, and I was teaching American culture. So the lessons were about things, typically done in the US. And it was standing room only. We had students that weren't in the class coming into the class, and I had to say, this class is only for registered students.
Absolutely true. I guess, I mean, I don't know. How do you enjoy, teaching students at the graduate level, or the lesser than that, or the university students?
Well, I enjoyed my university students very much.
Absolutely,
because they had very good questions. Very good questions. And
Me too.
I tell my students, I'm an English teacher. I have, gone to college. I've studied English, but I'm not a god of English. I don't have all the answers.
Oh, so lovely.
I'm only human. But they challenge me.
I will use this term someday.
What?
I'm going to use this term someday. I'm not the god of English. Oh, my love.
That's what I always say.
Oh, that's so cute. Cute to hear. So what's going on? How many classes are you taking these days in a day?
Well, I'm focusing a lot. I'm doing lessons through a Chinese group. I have my own lessons that I'm doing, and of course YouTube. And
so how do you? Well, that's a surprising thing. How do you manage teaching English to the Chinese students then?
Well, I speak Chinese, so.
Oh, really?
It just
Don't tell it.
对，我说的一点普通话，我说的一点普通话，可是我说的不好。
Oh my God, that's so cute.
But I don't speak Chinese in my classes. I focus on the students and speak to them only in English. And I know that they forget that I speak Chinese because they really try hard to speak in English. Every once in a while, I might say something in Chinese. one of the things we were talking about was being a butt kisser, where you,
What's that?
yes, teacher, how are you today, teacher? Can I do something for you
All
today,
right.
teacher? And I
Acha,
said
let me.
that's called a butt kisser, or in British English, an
Okay.
ass licker. And
Okay.
my students were, I don't understand what it is. And I
Okay.
said in Chinese, ma pijing, and they just laughed. They thought that was hilarious
Oh,
that I
that's
knew this
true.
word.
The concept is very much academic in the sense.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
there is a room for translanguaging. There's a concept which is called translanguaging. What is
Cross
that?
languaging, yeah, but
Yes.
I
What
I'm
is
I'm
that?
more of a fan of full immersion.
Okay.
I'm a big promoter of full immersion and using
Okay.
other words to explain something, or using pictures and English to
Right.
explain something.
I actually studied somewhere when I was having my classes for linguistics, and this term was introduced to us into the English class. And of course, I mean, this is one concept also, that if you're teaching something to multicultural students in a classroom,
Right.
if we are having multicultural students, and let's say that we are teaching them something, let's say English or something difficult, especially the medical subjects and all that. If you find as a teacher that some groups are not comfortable grasping your concepts in the target language, the language we are speaking or using into the classroom, we may employ their native language to explain the difficult concept to them. Absolutely. It is so good. But see, in our classes, I'm talking about my kind of classes, which
Right. They're
we
more.
are teaching, it's
Mhm.
never appreciated. It's never appreciated that, I mean, the student should be taught into their regional. See, one is the national language,
Right.
right? Maybe
Right.
it could be taken as the native
Native tongue.
language or
Native
mother
language.
tongue or the L1. But again, I mean, this is not being very much encouraged because, of course, sometimes our students do come from the kind of the places where, I mean, they are not even that good at their national language or the native language, and they are good or better, or they are efficient as far as their regional languages are concerned. So there are concepts that what should be the way teaching, rules and regulations or the basic things to them. Of course,
And
there are
what do you
approaches.
think? What's your opinion? Do you agree with that, or do you prefer full
Uh,
immersion? What do you think?
See, we have not practiced it yet. Only, I mean, I would say that in a maybe we can compare that we are doing it when we are bilingual. Maybe we are doing the same thing, right? If we're not using their or teaching them into their regional languages, at least, I mean, the language which is the national language is somehow picked up. And of course, we become bilingual. The target language, the English and the Urdu as their native language. I guess that, I mean, we are already using it, but not in preference of their regional languages from where they are coming or the language they are more familiar with.
Right.
So
Okay,
what's
so
going?
let's ask there. We've got some questions here that I'm going to ask you, and there are
Okay,
10 of
just
them.
ask if you not 10, just ask those questions which I'm able to answer. I've not really seen them. I received them. I said you. Okay, I've not said. I've not used. I've not uh, seen them in detail. They
Oh,
should be
wow.
simple. Okay, okay,
Okay, so
fine.
what's your
G,
favorite word in English?
look at it. That's
Oh, I
money
love that.
plant.
You have a
That's
green
money
thumb.
plant. That's my
Yeah.
favorite word. I actually had this question in my mind. And why? Because you asked the same question from other teachers also. So
Yeah.
I was just driving on my way back to home, and I was thinking, Naheed, what are you going to answer for that question? I said that money plant. Now see why?
There you
It's
go.
so strange. So strange in the sense. See, the word money plant. I love only the plant, not the money.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Also, I mean, the people love money, and
Oh,
maybe
I
not the
know.
plants. They love money, but not the
You
people,
you get more
the
things
plants.
with money than plants, though.
So that's one thing I should say. Apart from the joke, see, I guess that I mean the most favorite word for me is the respect. Respect. This is something which I guess that I mean this is the only word which can create so many good things in us. If
Mhm,
we have a liking for this word, maybe in the sense that at times you respect the opinion of somebody.
mhm,
I mean, avoiding some kind of the clash or the conflict. If there is a
mhm,
difference of opinion, you
mhm.
respect. There is an acceptance of the opinion.
Good.
And then what
Mhm,
more? At times people say that there is a comparison in between the two words like love or respect. Some people choose love, and then a few others like me choose respect. I guess I mean the respect comes first and then the love.
mhm.
See, gradually. Or maybe at times it happens that you love somebody but you don't respect somebody.
Oh no, I don't know if that works.
All right.
So, what's your
I'm
least
wrong. I
favorite
don't
word in
know, but
English?
this is my personal opinion. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong.
There is no right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. It's your
Oh,
opinion.
lovely, lovely. See,
So,
I
what's
just
your
wanted
least,
to
sorry?
nothing. I
What's
don't
your
know. I
least
mean, least
favorite word? What's
oh,
your least favorite word in English?
disparity.
Oh,
Disparity. Never lose hope. Always invest your part of the struggle, whatever the venture is, whatever the task is. Because at times, of course, I mean, if we become hopeless, it's very much guiding word for the students. At times we see that I mean they become desperate sometimes when they make comparison within the class. Of course, I mean, within the class, if there is a class of 100 students, all the 100 students cannot be equally intelligent. There can be some backbenchers, there can be some front benchers, there can be the intermediate level or the average students. Someone who is sitting at the backside and thinks that I mean, there is a sprinter, there is a fast runner in the front, and I'm somebody who is just, I mean, running slow and at the back. He should not stop running. He should not lose hope. He should keep on contributing, though his or her share is least or less, because still it will contribute towards their success. I guess, I mean, disparity is the word which I do not think I can like, because that is something which makes you passive, which makes you inactive, which makes you non-contributing towards anything. Maybe that's a little thing in your life, maybe some bigger goals in your life. If there is a hope of doing something and achieving something, of course, one can really meet the goals attained.
hmm.
I think two questions are enough.
Okay. Oh no, what makes you happy?
I should
What
be
makes,
honest. I should be honest. Family is something. Believe me.
yes, family
Believe me,
makes me
family.
too.
Nowadays, I'm having my younger sister, where she has come with the husband and the two sons who were born in Canada. She's living in Calgary. After 10 years, she has come. The husband is a doctor, and the girl had done her, what is that called? MBA in HR.
Mhm.
So she worked for a couple of months there in Calgary in a bank, but now she wants to run her business somehow. It's the family.
Mhm.
Similarly, I'm having another sister coming from UK. When she comes with the kids, I forget everything. They
That
are
makes
my
you the happiest then.
that makes me
So,
the
what
happiest.
makes you angry?
Uh, the non-serious attitude of my students, I'm sorry to say.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I
Okay.
guess that if I can see, I get up at 6, then
Mhm.
I go for my college or for my work. with bundle of things, I
Mhm.
grab my books, my papers, my pens, everything. When someone actually enters as a student within the classroom without any preparedness, that makes me extremely cross. I don't know why I become really bad. I should be nice, still nice to them. I try to, but that makes me annoyed. Why? If, as teachers, of course, if we are bound to see and prepare our lessons before entering into our classrooms, why not the students? Because we work for them.
Mhm.
Whatever we had to gain, we have achieved. Whatever we had to take as examinations in terms of our degrees and documentations, there is a life for them. They
Mm.
should be goal oriented. They should be goal oriented. They should know what their tasks are, what are their responsibilities, why they are in the classes, and look the effort of the teacher. See, at times I see that, we put double efforts in making our students understand even the simple concepts. We
Mhm.
change our words, we change our methods, we try to impart our that knowledge or the concept to our students. But if someone enters in the class, all right, fine. But if it the student longs with the same behavior of non-seriousness, non-commitment, that really makes me. I love
Yeah,
teaching
I
because
I
I
would have
don't
to
have
agree
kids.
with you. I would have to
I
agree
don't
with you
have
that.
kids in my life. I do not have biological kids. These are
Mhm.
just, the kids of my sisters and my brothers whom I love, and I get lost in them. I can.
Right.
That is the happiest moment. It gives
Okay.
me immense pleasure when somebody out from my students really performs well. You know, I
I know. I
remember
like
that
that
day.
feeling too.
I remember that day just a week ago, I guess that, you had posted a post where somebody has
Oh, one
made
of
a
my students,
distinction.
yes, got
Remember?
all advanced scores on his TOEFL test. So I was so
Yeah,
happy.
you were so happy.
Oh, I was
And I
very happy.
appreciated on that's true. See, after our biological
Yeah,
siblings
but
and
and
relations,
he was only 13 years old, and this is
that's
an
true, that's
exam you
true,
take when you're in high school, and he's only
that's true, that's
13,
true,
barely in
that's
high
true,
school. Okay,
that's absolute.
what's your favorite onomatopoeia?
Meow.
Meow.
I don't know. I
Mine's
love
pfft.
cats. I love cats. I
I
love their
love I
songs.
love dogs.
You love, you do have.
I have two
You
dogs.
you do have, I
I
guess.
have two
I
dogs.
remember.
Yeah.
Yes, you
What
love
about what's
dogs.
your favorite minced oath?
Not particularly something really. That is my answer.
No? Okay.
No,
Yeah, so you, what's the first thing when you hit something? Oh, son of a gun! Or no?
no, nothing. I'm not that spontaneous, believe me. I
Oh,
keep things
okay.
within me. I guess that I do have a ba- good self-control.
Oh, my friend. I have a friend that says, "Why minced oath? I'm just who I am. I'm going to swear if I have to say swear word. I'm going to swear."
No, I don't do
They
such
don't have
things.
any minced oath. They couldn't think of one.
Okay.
If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what other profession would you like to try?
Uh, that was the only preference. The question is very good, but I don't see that I'm having any second choice or the
Mm,
option. I love what I'm doing.
that's
See, that
important.
is one of the secrets, that whatever your profession is, like it too. See,
Mm, yeah, if you're
if
enjoying it, then you're
somebody
living your
somebody
life.
is somebody is in a profession, one doesn't like it, he or she cannot survive into it. He cannot put 100% or more than 100% into it. It's just
Mm,
your passion, your
mm, mm,
likeness towards your profession. The more you like it, the more committed you are. I don't
right.
think there is any second option in my life. Other than that, I love reading books. I love reading fiction. I'm a poetess too. I'm a writer too. I'm a translator too. So I love to write.
Mm,
If I was not a teacher, I loved to be a writer.
Okay.
But that's not a profession, you know. There's something related to the creativity. It's not a profession. So I won't say
Okay.
that, I mean, it's a
We
second
won't tell
profession.
that to Stephen King or
Oh,
or some of those more famous writers.
no, I don't think so. But this is something which I feel that, I mean, that's something which makes me really happy by the time I'm creating something in terms of writing or composing some poems or translating my ideas in the form of the prose or something I write. So that is something which really makes me happy, other than teaching.
Okay. And if you could
Yes.
talk to anyone living or dead, who would that be and what would you ask them?
My parents, whom I lost, you see that their presence is always, I'm having everybody around me.
Mhm.
So whom I'm not having are my parents. I loved
And
my parents.
what would you ask them?
Be with me again in our life. Your life, our life is so empty without you. And at times, of course, we all siblings miss their presence. When we celebrate something in the family, of course, we all the siblings are together and alive. Only, I mean, two members are not in the family. They are missed and missed terribly. We feel that, I mean, our happiness is incomplete. We loved our parents, the mom and our father.
So sweet. Okay. So what's the best piece of advice that you give your students?
See, the same thing which I earlier discussed, that they should remember every day why they are going to any educational institution, why they are studying, what are their goals, why they
Have
are
a
coming.
goal and a plan then.
Yes, they should come with some kind of commitment every day, making a promise, whatever their dreams are. They should move towards them every day, step by step, and every step reduces the distance of theirs from their success. This is what I should say.
Okay. No,
So
very good.
serious, so serious.
Naheed, thank you so much for
Bye.
talking with me
Okay.
today, and I enjoy talking with you, and you always amaze me with your
Thank you
knowledge
very
and
much.
the things that
That's
you
your
have done,
that's your
and
love, that's your kindness. I always, I mean, I feel so connected with you. Even we don't talk, you know, but on the messenger, when you talk or give me message, or I just see your post onto the Facebook or onto the YouTube, I say that I know her. She's
yes.
somebody whom I adore. She's so inspiring.
Aw.
Plan something. See, another lecture, another topic. If
Another
you have
time.
Huh? If you have
Uh,
time, looking forward to you for another topic, mutual topic.
well,
So
thank
I
you.
guess, I mean, do you think this is possible for you to be to come on online in my classrooms? Just, I mean, talking for interacting my students.
Well, it might be
Do
a
you think this is
possibility.
possible?
Yeah, could be.
All right. Can we set it in the morning? I mean, I'll
But
send you the
let's
timings.
talk about that at another time. I'm going to end this session and thank
Lovely.
my students who have joined us today, and thank you
Thank you
for
very much,
coming in and
students. Thank you very much.
watching
Everybody, Alice
and
students. Yes,
and thank you again, Naheed.
thank you very much.
All
Thank you
right.
very much for your time and the
Thank you.
opportunity. God bless
Thank you.
you.
You
Thank
too.
you.
God bless you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, my students, that ends another session with our featured teacher. And if you're interested in participating in an interview with me, email me, let me know. And I'm at askelly@englishfunzone.com. And thank you again for watching. And until next time, my students, please keep practicing. Bye.